Hi, I'm Mrs. Kraszewski, and I am the school secretary here at Kennedy School.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Metzler. I'm the office assistant here at Kennedy.
Good morning, future Kennedy Cougars. My name is Jamie Granger. I am the principal and school psychologist here at Kennedy Elementary School. Being a small school, that's why I have two roles in the building, and they both work really well together, so I can be in the building all the time. Unfortunately for you today, you only get me in comparison to others, but this is Mrs. Panzer, and as you can see, this is little baby Finley. That's why she's not with us today. Mrs. Panzer's on maternity leave for the rest of the year, and we wish her and her family great luck. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about kindergarten at Kennedy. Right now, our projected numbers are telling us that we have one kindergarten for the 2021-2022 school year here at Kennedy Elementary School. Our typical schedule in a kindergarten is to start out with learning readiness, depending on the weather, is often outside, and get those large movement activities in and brains ready to roll. Morning meeting is where students work on their social emotional needs and get to know their classmates and work on building community in their classroom. Next is when read aloud and all of the activities that go along with phonological awareness come in. That's the foundational building block of reading and where everything will start from there. Shared reading is the next activity, followed by literacy centers and phonics. So all of the different components that your kindergartner will learn this year in the area of reading. More to come on why each part of those are important in the parent communication letter from Mrs. Panzer. Next is lunch, so you'll have a great opportunity to take a peek at our cafeteria. We're hoping next year it looks quite a bit bigger and different than it does this year. After that, students go outside for recess time. Typically, kindergarten will go outside with first graders, and from there we'll have 2 to 3 adult staff that are out there. Students then come in and have some quiet time, some downtime, because we find that kindergartners definitely need that recuperation time because it's a long day going from 4K at a half a day to a full day, 5-day-a-week schedule. Next, students have math. And then they move on to Maples. Maples is where we have music for the M, art for the A, PE or physical education, and then library science for the LS. We have a 6-day rotation. If you're not familiar with the 6-day rotation, we will give you some direction at the beginning of the school year. The students learn it so much faster than us adults. Within the 6-day rotation, there's 2 days of Phi-Ed, 2 days of music, 1 of art, and 1 of library media or library science. Students love all of them. After returning from Maples, then students have their writing, followed by recess, and then read aloud and snack. And then we wrap up the end of the day in kindergarten with play. So you'll also receive more information from a parent perspective on why play is so essential and important, especially at the kindergarten level. The big goals that we have outlined in kindergarten, well, we have a lot. There are 5 that Mrs. Panzer always talks about. Understanding rhyming and syllables, read books with 2 to 5 lines of text with repetitive language and basic sight words. Number 3 is write 3-letter words with accurate beginning, middle, ending sounds, or CVC words. Number 4, identification of capital letters, lowercase letters, and their sounds, as well as the digraphs. Digraphs are like the SH, CH, TH sound. And lastly, quantifying numbers to 20 and adding numbers within 5. So that is what our kindergarten 5 main big goals are for the year. Learning readiness and research, research behind learning readiness, recess, and play. Research shows students learn best through play and when movement is incorporated, so movement and play opportunities are integrated throughout our day. Homework, a monthly newsletter will come home with your homework calendar on one side and your reading calendar on the other, so watch for that. Encouraging learning at home is what we always ask of you as families. Our start time at the beginning of the day, students can start arriving at school between 8:15 and 8:20 is when we have supervision on the playground. The first bell rings at 8:35 and class will start at 8:45. Students are then dismissed at 3:35. The Seesaw app is something that Mrs. Panzer will let you know more about, but that's the opportunity for you to always be in communication with Mrs. Panzer from the kindergarten perspective. From a building-wide perspective, we use email quite frequently, and you can always check out our Facebook page. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Kathy Reynolds. I'm the school nurse coordinator for the Stevens Point Area School District. I, along with my school nurse colleagues, are here to welcome you, kindergartners, parents and guardians, to kindergarten. But before I start, I'd like to introduce my school nurse team, starting with...
Hi, I'm Nurse Sarah.
I'm Nurse Berta.
I'm Julie. I'm Nurse Julie.
All of us are here again to welcome you to kindergarten. Parents, whether this is your first child coming to kindergarten or if it's your last child coming to kindergarten, every child experiences kindergarten differently. So we're here today just to provide you with some brief reminders and some recommendations that we hope will help your child have a happy and healthy kindergarten experience. Sarah, how often will the school nurse be at elementary school?
Good question. So our school nurse team goes all over the district, and from elementary standpoint, our nurses are there for a few hours on about 2 days a week. So who is there, Berta, to provide for student health care when the nurse isn't there?
We understand that your children's health is important to you, and it's very important to us as well. So the office staff in the schools is trained by us to take care of your children for any first aid needs and to pass out medications to them as needed throughout the school day. Nurse Julie, who is available to care? Nurse Julie, is there a place where children can lie down if they're not feeling well?
So each school usually has about one cot for students. That doesn't allow a whole ton of students to be in there at one time. However, if your student is injured or ill, we will contact the parents to come and get them for the day. We expect you to respond as soon as possible, but we understand that you're busy throughout the day as well. However, the health room is not set up to be an all-day recuperation place for these students. So Kathy, what happens if a parent is unable to come pick up their student?
Well, parents, if you're not available, the school secretary will look at who you've listed as responsible people that you've given permission to pick up your child. So it's really important that that contact information be correct and up to date. And just remember that if Grandma Kathy's on the contact list, you better let Grandma Kathy know. Surprises are not a good thing. And Sarah, what about children with health conditions?
Yes, so parents, if your student has a health condition that could limit their ability to learn or be in school, we want you to let your student's school know. Let the office know, and the office will reach out to the school nurse, and then we will in turn reach out back to you to find out more information about that health condition, whether it's seizures, diabetes, asthma, allergies, vision or hearing deficit, those types of things. So we will be reaching out to you after you notify the school of that condition. Berta, what about children that need medications at school?
According to the district policy, it's the preference that the medications be given at home prior to the child coming to school. However, we understand that that's not always possible. So if prescription or over-the-counter medications need to be taken at school, we have forms that need to be completed and brought in with that medication to school. Those forms are available on the school district website as well as in the office at each and every school. Nurse Julie, what immunizations are required?
So the Wisconsin Student Immunization Law requires students to have a minimum number of doses of each vaccine. We would have you talk to your healthcare provider to see, or the local health department to see what vaccines that your student needs to either receive or if they're up to date. We do recommend that your student receives any of these vaccines prior to the first day of school. The summer is actually a really good time for students to go see their provider to do any sort of checkup, whether that's vision, hearing, dental work, just to address any issues prior to the start of the school year. Nurse Sarah, what other tips are helpful before children start kindergarten?
A couple weeks prior to school starting in the fall, it'd be great and really helpful to get your child on a bedtime routine, setting them up for at a certain time each evening to kind of wind down and go to bed. This can really help them be prepared for those long work days at school in the coming months. So that's really important because they need that energy to learn and play while they're at school. So sleep is of the utmost importance. Julie, how important is breakfast before children start each school day?
So I understand that not everyone is going to eat a hearty breakfast each morning. However, it's so important for these kiddos to get some nutrition in the morning, whether that's at school or at home. This will help them also be able to engage in the workday and the play day. So again, whether it's at school or home, please just make sure that your kiddo is getting something to eat before they go to school. Nurse Berta, how can parents help their child transition to kindergarten?
We understand that this is a milestone event for both children and parents, and it can be both exciting and scary at the same time. So parents, your positivity will help your child better impact how they transition and their attendance. So your positivity about kindergarten is being a place for your kids to make friends, learn about new things, and they get to play. So encouraging those aspects of kindergarten for your child to make the transition easier is very helpful. Nurse Kathy, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I think that you've all shared all the most important information, except for two last things. Have a great summer. See you next
We
week.
can't wait to meet you.
Incoming families are encouraged to complete a free and reduced priced meal application. Students who qualify for free or reduced priced meals also qualify for fee waivers, as well as free milk during milk break for kindergarten through 5th grade. Your meal status is effective for the school year and for the first 30 operating days of the following school year. Current school year applications must be completed annually. Applications are usually available by the first week of August and can be completed online through Skyward Family Access by selecting your student, click Food Service, click Applications. Be sure to click Submit once you have entered all the required information. Paper applications can be obtained from your school office. Applications can also be downloaded and printed by going to the district website. Click on Departments, Food Service, Free Reduced Meal Information. Only one application should be filled out per household. Families who qualify for free or reduced price meals through direct certification will receive a letter from us and do not need to do anything further unless there is a problem with your letter, such as missing students that live in your household. If there is an issue with your direct certification letter, please contact the food service office as soon as possible so we can review your account. If your application is denied, you can reapply at any time within the school year if you have a decrease in income or an increase in household members. The Stevens Point School District receives funds that are based on the number of students who receive free and reduced price school meals through the application or direct certification process. We encourage all families to apply for free and reduced price meals. If you have any questions regarding free and reduced price school meals, please email foodservices@pointschools.net or call 715-345-5435.